Hello everybody, XPGamesNL here, back with a new Fire Emblem Builder tutorial. Today we're actually going to do something that looks a little bit similar to what we've done before, but it's completely different anyway, just like every single tutorial we have done at this point. Today we're going to look at a custom weapon. Now, for this tutorial, I will not be making a custom item icon and a custom weapon. Only if you guys want me to do just that, then I'll do that. Make a custom weapon icon for a custom weapon. Anyway, let's get started. Let's get the item menu, the item editor menu over here. It works, I guess. Look at my little Robin mouse. It looks cool. In a vanilla Fire Emblem the Sacred Stones ROM. So this is this was a vanilla ROM until I edited classes and chapters, etc., etc. In a vanilla ROM, you will have from hexadecimal number BC until CD. There's nothing set for that. There are all kinds of weapons that do not have stats, except for this one. This one would be perfectly usable if it just had uses and it was available in game. But for the rest, most weapons all of these weapons are unused, and there are various other things in Fire Emblem the Sacred Stones vanilla ROM, such as the Juna fruit, the Alacalibur, the Dance sword, the Vulneraries over here, the Stone Shard, and as well as, let me take a look real quick, the dummies over here. From the rings, the Mine and Light Rune dummy, as well as the Shadow Killer, Brightlands, Fiend Cleaver, and Beacon Bow, and the... where is it? There's... oh, okay. Well, those weapons are actually unused in vanilla Sacred Stones, except for the Beacon Bow, Juna Fruit, Shadow Killer, Fiend Cleaver, and Beacon Bow. These weapons and the Juna Fruit are part of a Japanese-only event, and that was never released outside of Europe. And even if you are a Japanese person, these items tend to be very rare. This Juna Fruit, by the way, it lowers one's levels by 3. Or by it lowers the levels of the unit you use it on. Not very important right now, but you know that these things are unused, and let's say you wanted to change all of those weapons into something useful. If you do not have enough space, even if you rebuild the Stone Shard and these dummies over here, if you even then find yourself short on space, you could just use the extend list button, but we won't do that now. Instead, we will just change this little dummy. So, as usual, these numbers over here, you shouldn't really pay too much attention to them. We're going to start over here at the name. The name is Dummy. Dummy is what Fire Emblem 8 calls weapons that need a name but don't actually have one. This is sort of a placeholder text, as well as this description is sort of a placeholder text. When we go to the Manikari, which is also unused in Sacred Stones, if I can find it real quick. I'm blind, am I not? Here it is. It also uses the sort of placeholder name and placeholder description. But it does have an effectiveness, by the way. It's pretty interesting. So let's go back to the weapon we wanted to edit. We'll give it a name real quick. We'll call it the Hex Sword. I'll open the text real quick. The text editor. There you go. So we're going to add a new... we're adding some new text due to the fact that if we do not do that, then all weapons that use the placeholder dummy name will suddenly be called Hex Sword. So we'll call this the Hex Sword, and we can give it a description: a broken weapon. We'll call it a broken weapon. So this is the description and this is the name of the sword. So I'll double click on that. Oh shit. Oh hey, there you go. We're back. Just be gone. Stupid screening, but it went dark for a little while. But hey, doesn't really matter. We can still see. So we have this a sword called the Hex Sword right now. We'll change this to D51, a broken weapon. As you can see, we finally got a description. The use screen is only for, I could go to Junafruit. The use screen is only when you want to use it. Let's say you're trying to promote a character. This is when you press R on the item, you saw the help info of the item, then this will display. And once you are ready to use it, once you want to promote Erica, this displays, this text displays. So there for like, oh hey, hello Heaven Seal. For every single item that can be used, there is, or at least for most, there's a different bit of text that that is shown when you use the item. Let's go back to the Hex Sword. We do not want to use the Hex Sword, so we'll not use that. We'll go to effectiveness. Well, I'll open an effectiveness pointer for our new little sword is 0. Don't worry, we can set an effectiveness. Once you click on that, it says allocates new effectiveness to this item. Just click yes, and then you will have all. If I can just get the screen, you see that there are a lot of lords over there. I'll explain what that means. Let me get the window real quick. I need to get the window ready. Don't worry, you'll see it in a second. Hold up. There you go. So this is the window where you can edit effectivenesses. As you can see, there are various weapons that have effectivenesses. The rapier has the same effectiveness as the dummy and Regan Leaf. Over here you can see which weapons have the same effectiveness. All the bows share the same effectiveness, and apparently also the Wind Sword has the same effectiveness as the bows. Sword Slayer for all the sword classes. Which is pretty fun, actually, that this weapon only focuses on sword classes, not on if a character has a sword equipped. We have the hammer, of course, dragon axe. Apparently, the dragon axe has the same as the loose tome. There's also a four-blaze tome, but the four-blaze tome doesn't have any effectivenesses, apparently. These are just effective against all monsters, as you can see over here. But what is the most interesting is the Dragonstone, maybe, with all the monsters. But we could set, we have the total of, like, classes that our Hex Sword is effective against is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there are 11 classes where we're effective against. I could have miscalculated, but I don't really care. If we change this class, let's say, oh, we'll change this to Cavalier, and we'll change this to Cavalier, and we change this to Paladin, and we change this to Paladin, and we change this to Ranger, and this to Ranger. Let's just keep it at that for now. That our Hack Sword is effective against Cavaliers, Paladins, and Rangers. If we use the Hex Sword against these classes, we'll do triple damage, also known as the bonus damage. You can actually make some really fun stuff with this. In my own ROM hack, Fire Emblem: The Prophecy of Flames, I have made a sword that is effective against all pre-promoted classes, which is a pretty interesting sword, to say the least. If I want to spice up the difficulty, I could just throw that on a couple of characters in mid to end game. So yeah, that's what you can do with that. Be creative with the bonus damage, and you'll see that you can do some very cool shit with this. I'll just change this real quickly to a couple of classes. Let's say the Necromancer. Let's do a Soldier as well, just for fun. The generic, anti-generic sword. Let's change this to 32. Summoner. Let's change this to 2A. Mage Knight, and let's change this to 2B. Bishop. No, Mage Knight. Alright, so that is that. Now let's go back to the other menu. So as you can see, oh, it hasn't loaded yet. It has not loaded yet. Hold on, I'm fixing it. I'm fixing it. So if we go to item editor and we come back to our weapon, we can see that we have changed the effectiveness. So these classes that are listed here, those classes will receive bonus damage when they get attacked by our new sword. We could also change it into something else. We could make a hex sword that actually is a healing item. I will show you how to make a custom stat booster and a healing item as well, so I'll just do that for a bonus. So then we have the icon. So for the icon, let me quickly grab the icon menu. So this is the icon menu. The icon menu is, here you can see every single item icon in the game. And you can see which weapons, items, etc., etc. use that icon. For an example, this is the iron sword icon. And all of these weapons use that icon. We could go down, and as you can see, most weapons only use one icon. The Wu Dao icon is actually unused. So we might just set that. There are a couple of unused item and weapon icons in the game. I'll show you some of them. There are remnants of Fire Emblem 7. So let's go down. This is not really interesting. This is the Delphi shield from Fire Emblem 7. And Fire Emblem 6, by the way. If you have played those games, you would know that the Philly shield in this game is basically the Delphi shield from the other games. These are the weapon rank symbols. They are not really interesting. Here we have the Zephiel's XX weapon. This is Zephiel's weapon, the weapon icon of Zephiel's weapon. These are the icons for the affinities. These are for horses. The silver card and member card, those are still used. This is the Vida spear, actually. I do not know why, but the Vida spear somehow has a different weapon icon than all the other spears, than the regular one. That's weird. And this is the Fire Emblem 7 chest key icon that is also unused. This is the mine, of course. This is the iron rune from Fire Emblem 6 and 7. If you know those, if you have played those, oh no, wait, the iron rune is only from Fire Emblem 7. The iron rune protects from critical hits. It's basically the hoppling guard from this game, from Fire Emblem 8. And then we have the rings, those are actually used. And then we come to the legendary weapons, the Durandal, Armads. This is Aurelia, Earth Seal, Apha's Drops. This is the Heaven Seal. This is actually unused. I do not know, this appears nowhere. This is the Fell Contract, the item you use to promote thieves. The Soul Catty, Wolf Bale. This is the either the Gleipnir or the Gespenst. I think it's the Gespenst, to be honest. Or it's the Apocalypse, I don't know. This is the Flame Tongue, Regelblade, Rex Hasta, Basilicos, Rienfletch, and let's see, do we have any? Yeah, these are actually empty slots. You can just put whatever you like in these slots. They will function properly. There are a lot of weapons actually in this thing that are still used. And is that it? That is actually it, I guess. That's all the icons that are unused, the ones that I just named. So you could easily overwrite those. So we could change our little hex sword into a Regal Blade or Soul Catty or Durandal. Let's go with the Wu Dao though. I want to make a sort of Wu Dao looking weapon. So we go back, we hold on a second. The Wu Dao item icon is hex number B. So we go to item editor and we'll type in B. And there you go. Now we have a sword with an icon. And we could also make a lance, an axe, a bow, staff, blah, 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 blah. We can change the weapon rank over here. Let's change it to E. We want it to be used. We could change the price. Oh, first let's go to weapon stats. You know what the stats do. You can change the range here. 1 melee range, 1 to 2 magic. 1 to 3 range is actually the Naglfar's range, a standard, or the Naglfar that Leon has, if I recall correctly. That tome has 1 to 3 range. You have a bow, a longbow, 2 to 3 range, 3 to 10 bolting, a 3 to 15 ballista, magic divided by 2 for the fortify staff and for the warp staff, and the total range, which is every single spot on the map can be hit with a Latona. Let's do that. That's going to be funny as heck, so we can hit everyone on the map. Let's give the weapon 10 uses to not make it too broken. Let's give it like 15 strength, 100 kit, weight, brief recap on weight if you're new to Fire Emblem Game Boy Advance games. The weight is just how heavy a weapon is. Your character's constitution is used for calculating the speed in battle and just outside of battle as well. If your character has constitution that is equal to or higher than a weapon's weight, they will not lose speed. But if the constitution of your character is lower than the weapon's weight, the weapon's weight minus constitution will be the speed penalty they receive. So it's 8. If a character has 8 or more constitution, they will not lose any speed. If they have lower everything that is too short, that's a speed penalty. So we can give it like 50 critical. You could give it 100 critical actually. So you could play around with that if you really want to. But I'm not going to do that now. So we can actually set price per use. That is for if you're going to sell these things in a vendor. And if you make like end game weapons, you want the price per use to be really high. If you make an early game weapon, you want it to be low. So let's say like, let's do 5,000 gold or something like that. As you can see, we have 3 different prices: the normal price, the preparation price, and the silver card price. The normal price is what you would pay in a regular vendor. In Fire Emblem 8, the Sacred Stones, you have access to an armory in your preparations menu. The only thing about that vendor and armory in your preparations menu is that they will charge 150% extra money, which means that 50% of the regular price that you would pay in a normal vendor will be added onto the weapon. It's already existing regular vendor price, which means that in this case they would take 50% from 5,000 is 2,500 and add that to the 5,000, 7,500 or 7,500. That's not really cool, is it? You could add it to the like armory there, but it will be a lot more expensive. You could also have the silver card right here. The silver card prices are for selling a weapon and for buying a weapon with the silver card. So when selling a weapon and when buying a weapon with a silver card, this is the cost. This is the cost of the weapon, 2,500 gold. So that is that. Everything of the costs has been covered right now. So now we have the additional damage type. This is a fun one because as a lot of weapons and staves actually have in these games. Let's go to a poison weapon real quick. Every single poison weapon, such as the toxin lance, has the poison effect, and most status effect staves, such as the sleep, the silence, and the berserk, they have this little oh, not really. This is we'll get to that later, but at least for the poison weapons, they have this little this thing. If you set it to poison effect, the weapon will change into a poison weapon. When you hit someone with a poison weapon, of course they will get poisoned. The Nosferatu effect is also for rune swords. The damage you deal split in half will be the HP recovered. The Eclipse effect always leaves enemies or will deal damage equal to half of enemies' HP. So that will mean that the HP... so if an enemy has 40 HP, I will deal 20 damage. When another enemy has 20 HP, I will deal 10 damage. So that's that. The Eclipse effect in Fire Emblem 6 will actually leave an opponent on 1 HP. Sort of a false swipe if you play Pokemon. The Devil effect, you can apply this for every single weapon. Then they will get the Devil backfire rate. You can make Devil swords, Devil lances, everything. Devil tomes if you really want to. The Devil effect is like the 31 minus a character's luck. That is the trigger rate for a Devil effect to kick in, if you remember that. And then there's Inflicts Stone. So you could also make a weapon that, upon touching an opponent, will change them into or will just stone them. We'll go with that. I want to test something real quick. Let's change this to D51 because I want to check if we can make a sort of binding blade elixir sword. For the people who do not know, in Fire Emblem the Binding Blade itself has 20 uses, and it can be used to restore Roy's full HP when used. You can use the weapon, you won't attack with it, but you will just heal Roy fully with it. I want to check that too. If we set this to Elixir real quick, over here, I want to check if that works. If we do this, that Roy, or that the character who uses the Hex Sword will have full HP again. And you can set various other effects too, by the way. You could make a sword that is actually a torch, if things go correctly. And anti-toxin swords, you could do some really crazy shit with all of this. I do not, heal swords, mend swords, recover swords don't work, by the way. There is no such thing as a healing sword. You really need a staff for that. And even if it works, your character will be changed into a staff user from that point on. You really don't want to do that. So yeah, you just gotta play around with all of this. I do not know if it's actually possible to make a Fire Emblem item. Like in Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, the Fire Emblem item could open chests. You could maybe make something like that in this game too. Alright, that is that. We can do weapon experience, so for every hit a character sort of deals with this weapon, they will get 5 weapon experience. For a kill, they will get double. That is that. Now we have the stat boosters. Let me go to the stat boost screen real quick. Let's see. Hold on, that's not the stat boost screen. Where's my little stat? That's not the stat boost screen, game. That's not the stat boost. There you go. That should be... No, that's not it. Aha, there it is. Never mind. I was just screwing around. Here you can see the stat boosts of every single item. And for every single stat booster, as the name implies, stat boosts are added for every single stat booster. As well as every single legendary weapon in Fire Emblem the Sacred Stones has a... grants extra stats, as well as the Wretched Air and the Dragon Stone. They do, and the Ravager, Nightmare, and Demon Light do that as well. They grant extra stats to the user. That is why Manecades can have really low stats. So if we want the Hex Sword to have stat boosts, we could go and let's see. Allocate new stat boosts. If we quickly reload, we can see that the Hex Sword has appeared, and we can give it stat boosts. We'll give it the character +2 speed, +2 skill, +2 defense, +2 resistance, +2 luck, +2 move, +2 con, and 20 extra HP. It's some insane stat boosts. So now it hasn't reloaded properly. So now, as you can see, oh wait, you can't see. Oh wait, you can. All right. Excuse me for that. As you can see, every single weapon has stat boosts now. Or this weapon has stat boosts now. As you can see, they're listed over here. The down part. So that brings us to the final part of the creating a weapon. These are all things you can set to the weapon. So attack res is for magic, for staves and for magic swords. This is not a magic sword, so we'll keep that unticked. Equipable is for every single item or for every single weapon and staff in the game. If it's an item such as a stat booster or a gem, etc., you should not tick this box. Staff, if it's a staff, tick this box. If it's unbreakable, tick this box. Will not make it unbreakable. We'll make it unsellable though. Every single legendary weapon is unsellable. If you wanted to make an unbreakable weapon, you could do that here. If you wanted to make an unsellable, you can do that here. Brave effect allows to strike always twice. And if you're faster than your opponent, you'll strike 4 times. Magic damage. Oh, that's actually power minus res. This is for the Rune Sword and Light brand. This is just for tomes. This is for the Rune Sword and Light brand. Uncounterable is for bolting. If you have a bolting and you attack a different bolting user, you cannot counter. Whatever you do, you cannot counter with a bolting tome. For boltings and ballistas, you have to tick this box. Reaver effect is for sword reavers, etc. We'll leave that unticked. Disable Hammern. If you tick this box, you cannot repair the weapon with Hammern. Let's not do that. Monster Lock makes this weapon a monster weapon, but it's not a monster weapon. Weapon Lock. These are all these locks. The locks basically apply to whatever it says. You can give a lock to a character or class, and only those classes or characters can use a weapon that has the same lock. I've explained that in the class and character tutorial as well, so I'm not going to too in depth here. The Myrmidon / Swordmaster lock is the most common one you want to use if you make a new Shamshir weapon. Negate critical hits is what the Iron Rune and Hoplin Guard do, and you can actually combine this with the negative flying effectiveness. So you could make an anti-critical hit and an anti-flyer item. So they protect you against both. It's pretty broken, but it is possible. You can hide the weapon info, make it unusable, ignore defenses. That is only for the Luna tome, but we're going to do it anyway because it's funny. And then you have all the locks for the rest. And these are actually unused. So we'll write to ROM, and we have created our very first weapon. So now we're going to create a new item. We'll make this an item. We'll go and create a stat booster. So let's just, what's this, 51, D51. We'll call this D51 real quick, and we'll change this to a Juna fruit. I don't really care. So we now have set this to item. Let's select a nice little icon. You don't have to necessarily see this. Let's change it to a nice little, let's change it to Alpha's Drops. You see, this is going to be our stat booster. So it has one use, of course, because it's a stat booster. You can only use it once. I had the idea once to make a 4-leaved clover stat booster that had 4 uses and that granted 1 luck per use. But it was a little bit a stupid idea, having to use a stat booster 4 times. You want to immediately have the stat boost supplied, of course. So, we could actually set a price. Let's do this. No, actually, an extra. This is the price for the stat booster in the shops. Then we'll do this and select Vulnerary. You might be thinking, why Vulnerary? Well, if we go to a stat boost real quick, let's go to, where's the Draco Shield? There you go. The Dragon Shield, everything has their own little nickname, but the Vulnerary will just work fine, to my knowledge. And we'll just test it. If it does not work, then I'll figure it out. So we'll go to the stat booster menu, and we'll make this a stat booster for movement and constitution. I'm not going to show all of that. So, oh, it also grants 5 power. That's not really what I wanted to do. So now, as you can see, it grants +2 move and +2 constitution when we use that stat booster. That really is everything. There's not more to do with this. That's all, actually. So now I wanted to make a Fire Emblem kind of thing, and we could make a stave, an unlock stave with extra range. Let's just do that as well. We'll call this a 5,000 gold. That's what we're going to call this thing. Well, we wanted to make this just an item. We'll give it infinite uses, make it not equipable. Let's give the Hoplon Guard, or the Iron Rune. Where's the Iron Rune icon? Let's give that to the weapon. There it is. This looks a little bit like the Fire Emblem. So let's change this to 40B or something. Coated in lethal poison. That's a great Fire Emblem, to be fair. So it has, let's set it to 255. That's the maximum amount of uses a weapon is able to have. Let's just do that. And we'll set it to melee range. Then we'll do this. We'll change it to a chest key. And, well, it's unbreakable. This is also actually everything you need to have for a chest key, to my knowledge. So that is that. This is the Fire Emblem from Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon. It can open chests without any repercussions. So finally, we wanted to make the unlock staff. Now I'm going to be pretty lazy. Let's go to the unlock staff, copy that, and paste it over here. When you copy and paste, be sure to change the item ID of whatever you have copy pasted. So let's change this to a 1 to 3 range unlock staff. So that is that. We have created our own weapon, our own Juna fruit, our own Fire Emblem, our own unlock staff. So let's run the game, actually. So I'm just gonna press the button real quick, and we want to, there it is, it's already up. So we want to quickly go to the protected or something like that, and we'll go to the debug menu that standardly comes with Fire Emblem 7 to cheat. We're going to warp ourselves to chapter 3. Let's just what? Oh, we're not in a chapter, so that's why it doesn't work. I need a treasure chest to open real quick. So let's go to chapter 3. And, you know, have a good time there. Let's go. Oh, wait. This is a chapter that actually isn't really fortunate to have. Okay. Let's go to... Hell, we're going to the final map of the game. Just for fun. Let's save... Alright, these are our characters. We're going to change them, to give them max stats, all of them. And now, once we have myself over here, Namie, take the Shamshir real quick. I wanted to give myself... yes, I'm going to give myself a... I'm going to give myself the custom weapons that we have made, the custom stat boosters, etc., etc. We're going to give that to our characters. So let's give this to me, and this to me. So now I have every single thing that we have created. The Hex Sword only has 1 use out of 10. The hell's this? Alright, so let's move... This can't be used. This weapon is a sword, right? Yes, it is. Oh, and we can actually... Oh, this is epic. The range is a little bit weird, but I don't really care. We could just do this. We forgot to set a magic animation. That is why nothing happens. We should set a magic animation. Alright, so for now, let's select our Bat Seth. And let's give him, we should give him a door key real quick. Let's give Seth a door key. Where's the door key? Door key, door key, door key. There you go. Let's give Seth a door key. And we're going to give him the Fire Emblem item we have created. Just to test if what we have made actually works. So, Franz... no, Gilliam. You go and take the door key. Then Franz should take the door key. And Franz will stand over here. Then we'll take Vanessa. Oh, Vanessa can just reach. Very cool. We'll give you the door key. You open the door for us real quick. You shouldn't be afraid of those Gorgons. They won't do shit against you. So let's see if we can open this chest, shall we? Apparently we can't. There's something that has gone wrong. We'll see if we can fix that later. So now we have all of the... we have everything... we have everything we need. We only need to test that stat booster real quick. So if we suspend... And we'll go to the Bandits of Borgo chapter real quick. Where am I? There you go. Give myself... You need it... Hello... Debug menu. The debug menu is a little bit doing weird. Alright, so we close this, run the ROM again. But before we're going to do that, we will use the Hex Sword and we'll give it a magic animation. So let's go to the magic animation real quick, because I forgot to show that. The magic animation is really simple. On the magic animation menu, there are a lot of weapons. The Hex Sword is not one of the weapons with a magic animation. We're going to give him one. There you go. As the Hex Sword was like DB or something. No, it was not. Where's the Hex Sword? There it is. So we can set a lot of things here. Map and fighting animation. That's for an animation for in combat. So we're going to set that to, let's say, the Berserk animation, just for lols. And we're going to the map animation effect. Let's not set that. You don't have to worry about that. Let's set the damage effect to yes, and this intact. And map sprite color is for whatever type of weapon you're using. If you're using a regular weapon, such as the Hex Sword or a fire weapon, you should do red. A wind is green. An ice is blue, of course, like Wimblevetter is blue, and light magic is yellow, and of course dark magic is black. There's also a white option, by the way, if you really wanted to go crazy. So we've now set the magic animation. Let's go back to the item editor to look at why the Fire Emblem isn't working correctly. So the Fire Emblem is actually a chest key and is an item. What do we miss? What do we miss? Let's go to the regular chest key. Let's see, what are we missing? I really do not know. This is a 5-use chest key, by the way. With 5 uses. It's a chest key. I really do not know what we're missing. This should just function normally. But it does not. We could just say unbreakable and remove that. Test if that works. Let's continue to the Bandits of Borgo. I do not... It is visible. Nice. Let's continue real quick and play this chapter. Let's go to me, and we should give myself the stat booster I just talked about. Let's give me one of them stat boosters. So we're going to down the list, and we'll give myself the Juna fruit. What? I have selected the unit with the emulator. Oh. Apparently I did not. Sorry. So now we have the Juna fruit. Let's test it on Namie. You could also send a message for this, but we have not done that. This can't be used. I think I know why this won't work. So we gotta fix that real quick. Anyway, Molder. Oh, there's no doors in this chapter. That's really sad, otherwise I would have given you the unlock staff. Let's go to chapter... it's a trap. No. Let's go to the Sacred Stone chapter. And let's grow all player characters to the strongest real quick. Because I just want to... Where's Molder? Oh, there he is. I just want to test if the sort of unlock staff we've created... If this works, then we'll focus on the rest. Wait, where's your unlock staff? I gave you the unlock staff. There it is. Apparently it doesn't work properly, and the range is bugged. I have no clue to why that is. Anyway, that is that. Let's go back to the item editor, because I know finally what is wrong with these two items. With the Juna fruit item and the Fire Emblem. This little button over here that says when used, we need to click that. So let me get that window real quick. So let's click that when used. And let's go and open up that window as well in the recording software. Where is it? I really hope I can find it. What's happening? Item effect, is this it? Nah, that's not it. Item use effect, that is it. That's what we need. You might already see it. Fit the screen. Alright, I'm gonna show you how you do that. Magic animations, be gone. There you go. So this is the item use. So when you use an item, this will happen. And this is nothing, so nothing will happen. When using the Hex Sword, we're going to change this into Vulnerary Elixir. So when we use it, it restores our HP. The effect of using items again is vulnerary, or let's just elixir. This is for promoting items. Our sword does not promote anyone, so screw that. This is if it is a promotion item, not used in Fire Emblem 8. Staves, our item is not a stave. Oh wait, we do not have the... Okay, I may also have found the reason that our unlock staff does not work. This should be changed to... Oh, no. This should be changed. Let's see real quick. We press extend list. Or extended list. Let's change this to unlock staff. So now it should function as an unlock staff. Alright, so that's everything. This is the message of the stat booster. We should... go to our little Juna fruit here and say Aphis drops, and this is a stat booster, so it should be labeled as a stat booster. And error message, we don't have to per se set an error message. The Hex Sword is not a promotion item, not a stat booster, and not a message. Staff, I think that this is fine. The Juna fruit still cannot be used. So let's change this into a vulnerary. And let's change this into a stat booster. Is there also a stat booster option over here? Let's see. Yes, there is. So let's change this to stat booster. We have made our custom own stat booster. So when we press F5 again and go and run the ROM, let's restart the chapter Sacred Stone, and of course we gotta cheat again. So we're going to give ourselves, I think it's this. No, it's not. Well, hang on a second. I give myself the goodies. So we're giving myself the Hex Sword, the Juna Fruit, the Fire Emblem. Oh, I already have 5 items, so I can't hold any more. So let's give you the Fire Emblem, and let's give Mulder the Unlock Staff. Let's go. So every character now has their things. So I have my Hex Sword. I would like to see myself damaged. So let's select myself. I can actually set my HP to 0 or to 1. Let's go over here and use the Hex Sword. And the game freezes. Oh Jesus, what the hell is happening? That's not good. That's not what's supposed to happen. What the hell? Wait. Our data just got deleted? That thing breaks the game? Ah, whatever. Not really fond of that now. We could do that, but there's something wrong. I do not know what it is. I'll see if I can put in the comments what I missed. So, I should give myself the Fire Emblem, and I should give myself the Stat Booster. That's it. That's the only things we need to test. So let's use the Stat Booster, see if it works. Maturity increased, and as you can see, we've gotten +2 move, +2 constitution. That's the stat boosts we have received from our custom stat booster. So that works. That's nice. Let's see. We gotta give one of the characters a door key. Remember that this is not an unbreakable item, but you could make it unbreakable. Don't worry about that. Alright, so Franz... Oh, I remember why this weapon has 1 use. That is because of the debug menu. Let's give Franz a door key real quick. It's really stupid that I know the sort of... I know the hexadecimal codes for the items, for the door key, etc. I know them out of the back of my head, and that's weird. I kind of find that strange. But if you give a lot of those weapons to characters, you will see that that you will remember that way quicker. So let's test our custom Fire Emblem. It still doesn't function properly. This can't be used. So apparently this doesn't function as a chest key. Did I forget to set that? Let me check that real quick. I forgot to set that. Let me quickly set that. So let's set this to chest key as well. There we go. If correct, we could use that now. I'll keep the ROM open for this part, and I'll go to the item editor and see if I can still fix the Hex Sword thingy. I don't really think that we can fix that. I think it's due to the fact that we have to inflict stone. Well, whatever. Wait, what happened? Oh, you're seeing this right now. Whatever. Open the ROM. Again. So we've opened the ROM again. Let's resume chapter, actually. So let's test out the Fire Emblem. Wait, we do not have a Fire Emblem? Where is our Fire Emblem? Jesus, Seth, stop losing your stuff. So let's use the Fire Emblem. Give unit the following items. Alright, so we now have the Fire Emblem, if correct. Let's open. It works! We have created a new chest key kind of item, which is actually a Fire Emblem. Like in Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, you know the thing. We could also test the unlock staff real quick again. Let's do this. Give unit the following items. If correctly... Oh, you already have one. Alright. The range is a little bit bugged, it seems. Apparently we cannot use the item. That's weird. This doesn't function. So for the final sort of part I want to give you, Mace. I'm going to give you the Hex Sword. See if you can use it to heal yourself. I'm setting your HP to 1. Let's see if we can create a new Binding Blade. Wait, I want you to use the item, not equip it. Let's freaking go enemy phase real quick. Alright. Set my HP to 1. Trade over the Hex Sword. And use it. What the hell? Okay, so that... I have full HP again. But that's weird. Alright, you stupid Gorgon, be gone. Anyway, that's it for this episode, actually. Yeah, that's it. That's everything I have to say about the item editor. If you liked this video, if it helped you, please consider leaving a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe, by the way, because I noticed that a lot of you who watch these videos have not subscribed on my channel. If you would do that, you don't have to, but it would be really nice if you did. You can always change your mind, by the way. You can always say, like, oh, I just want to unsubscribe from this fella. Just do whatever you want. Please subscribe if you feel like it. You won't miss the next tutorial, by the way, if you subscribe. But that's actually everything I have to say. As well as for the outro, that's all. I hope this tutorial helped you. I hope you create a lot of goofy items. I'm XPGamesNL, and I look forward to making a new tutorial video and you watching. See you later.